Chapter 18. Beyond the Grave. Is there life after death? It's a question we've all asked at some point. I've always been interested in the supernatural. When I was a toddler, my parents would hear me talking to entities at the end of my bed, who introduced themselves to me as the Blue Voices. My curiosity in the paranormal led to a group of us discovering a forgotten attic room where we'd hold Ouija board seances in the imposing Victorian detached house which served as a sixth form centre. We stopped after 3 of our attendees lost their lives in separate incidents in as many months. Coincidences maybe, but scary enough for me never to do it again. As the UK rushed to the end of the 1990s, the once-in-a-thousand-year event had a subconscious whiff of end times about it. Fears of the millennium bug swirled, and just like the Victorian fascination for the occult a century before, the late 20th century also witnessed a rise in the popularity of spiritualism. Except this time around, instead of seances and Ouija boards, the masses turned to a former Blue Peter presenter and a Camp Scouse medium. It was a Tuesday evening after another stormy weekend club cruise to a grim North German port. I was sat with my wife moaning about the logistical difficulties of Rave on the waves is beset by, the eternally restless turntables which required copious amounts of bedding to absorb the motion of the ocean, the fragile stylus which needed weighing down with blue tack and coins, the lack of lasers and absence of smoke, which are forbidden by nautical regulations, and the diva-like behaviour by DJs who were increasingly demanding their own individual technical riders, bottles of expensive vodka and mood modification, as well as 2 flights back from Germany in order to get to their lucrative Saturday night gig. I stared at the television watching Most Haunted, a dubious paranormal investigation, in inverted commas, hosted by former Blue Peter presenter Yvette Fielding, and featuring showbiz medium Derek Acora, and, I suspected, a production crew adept at making noises off-camera in order to guarantee the next series. At its height, it was compulsive viewing. Weekly possessions and poltergeist presence in suitably spooky stately homes and drafty castles, which, despite teasing the viewer with glimpses of ghostly goings-on, never once during 23 series and celebrity Halloween specials, resulted in any tangible evidence of ghosts. Like a psychic striptease act, Most Haunted relied on the promise of what was to come without ever getting its kit off. Yvette's tendency to run away screaming when anything slightly scary happened meant nothing really scary ever did happen. If there was a BAFTA for a television programme making a little go a long way, Yvette Fielding's mantelpiece would possess more masks than a pandemic. Derek is halfway through a description of the spirit entities he believes are present at Bodmin Jail. Yvette stares at him intently, hanging on his every word. Suddenly Derek grunts. "Ugh. Are you all right?" Yvette is getting ready to be scared. Derek's eyes are now closed. Another guttural noise. "Where is he going?" another man asks, sensing it wasn't back home to Southport. The camera pans to Derek's face. He appears to be receiving a message. What ancient wisdom could it possibly be? What nugget of knowledge is he about to impart from another dimension? What eternal mystery is he about to solve? A new energy source, perhaps? The location of Atlantis? How they built the pyramids? A pause. A nation holds its breath. "Mary loves Dick! Mary loves Dick!" There's a pause. "Mary loves Dick!" Possessed Derek delivers a bravura performance. He never disappoints and is the reason I watch the show. I reaffirm to my wife my belief that the immaculately coiffured Scouser is TV gold and has charisma by the bucket load. "Why don't you put him on the boat instead?" she joked. "What did you say?" "Why don't you put him on the boat instead of the DJs? He won't need turntables or a huge PA, and he certainly won't ask for a gram of cocaine before he goes on stage like that bloke did on Saturday." She had a point. Derek had now channeled his Ethiopian spirit guide, Sam. This was the clincher. "You're right. Sam wouldn't demand an outside Commodore cabin for himself. Run up an astronomical bar tab I had to pick up or hassle me for Charlie," I enthused. "Really? How can you be so sure?" "Because he's been dead for 2,000 years.